And we are back, finally. We had a little bit of a technical issue moment. However, we are still going to be watching the match from the get-go. It is going to be the final match between TG Nocturne on the blue side versus Paragon 6 on the red side. Paragon 6, for them, everything is on the line. They need to win this in order to stay alive. Whereas for TG Nocturne, they are looking to secure a playoff spot, and they might be doing it with an early invade.
This is just... I mean, I don't know if this is an invade. They're kind of just chilling. But you know what's I'm even more happy about? It's I mean, having me here. You're happy to have me here, right? So my brain just shut off because I was speaking and I had the stream on in the background and I just heard my own voice and I was like, how am I speaking to myself? I'm so confused. I was like, how is this happening?
I want everyone to know this is why I talk whenever we duo queue. This is the reason I'm the one who calls the plays. Anyway, what I was going to point out, though, is the fact that this Nunu is actually elected to start one pot in pink ward, right? Which is quite interesting to see, as it is going to be protected usage here to try and make sure that there's no real attempt at invading. But I feel as though that's kind of a mistake. I mean, this could have been an opportunity to place that early on, get that in the bot side river, and then from there, maybe you can use that to give yourself a bit more information. But instead, it's just going to be used like this.
You don't understand. I had a full rant earlier about VO junglers and how they both go sit mid lane instead of putting like a ward at 47 seconds and then going back for sweeper. It was a huge thing, and my brain still explodes because it explodes even more so now that he's put a pink ward in his own jungle where he shouldn't see Trundle for like the next 5 minutes.
I mean, if at all, right? Because of the fact that you're starting your red buff anyway. And I imagine this is going to be called out because no one does fake leashes anywhere.
Well, a very aggressive trader in the mid lane. Look at that. Obsessed Legacy in a lot of trouble. And it's kind of what we've been seeing from the laning phase coming out from these teams, right? Like, Helicon has been absolutely dominant in his mid lane.
Helicon's been popping off.
Going for an engage. And look at that. Overlord Gaming's taking a lot of damage. Harry, Grandmother, trying to push them away. And just aggression coming in from the mid and the bot lane.
And you're really happy with that, taking a flash just for the E is super good for you, and it means that you can just engage again afterwards. And they do get that ward out, which means that S11, he's gone for the same pathing, both junglers, exact same pathing all 3 games, but they're learning, they're evolving. In the 3rd game, they're actually warding it out.
Yeah, and I do like that sort of understanding of the fact that mostly junglers do like to do the same sort of pathing overall. Nice to hear from Sir John Joe. I think 2 major issues in that level 3 advantage. But look mid lane here.
Yeah, we might see a gank off. It already came out for Charian.
Nice.
Wasn't really able to get anything there. Just like a tower shot, really. That's all that happened. Yeah. Well, it means that the Scuttle Crabs are going to be
It's been a rough day for me, alright? It's been a rough day. I'm sorry. I'll leave you guys to it. Alright, I'm sorry.
You stay here right now.
You stay here.
Guys, look at Trundle. He's taking Scuttle Crab. It's crazy. Alright, let's be serious about this one, though.
Okay.
Mr. Recollect, I'm going to ask for your opinion as expert drafter and analyzer of draftees. Tell us more about these compositions and how they're going to want to work through this.
Right. So obviously, this blue side composition known traditionally as a more standard team fight composition in a front to back manner. However, you do have a really odd scenario with the Lux, meaning you are lacking in consistent magic based damage. So I call this blue side comp more of a wombo combo comp than a standard team fight composition. So it's going to rely quite heavily around getting this bot to mid lane ahead and trying to set up good fights utilizing key ultimates such as this solar flare, using that absolute zero in the center and bullet time over the top, as well as that final spark. So trying to utilize those ultimates one after another in a chain to try and blow up key members such as Helicon. And maybe Viking when he doesn't have that cleanse available. On the flip side, though, this red side composition trying to dive heavily in, trying to assassinate this Misfortune, assassinate this Lux, who are those primary DPS members.
And I just want to point out, leading on from that, just because we were talking about the pink ward earlier, so that pink ward just ended up giving 30 gold over to Accident. He just walks into the enemy jungle, finds the pink ward, slaps it down, walks away, 30 gold Breacher, and Fruken could have used that a lot better to be able to save one of his laners, put it somewhere where it can be protected. Say in this bot lane where his bot lane was able to make aggressive plays. If you pink ward for them, it means that they're going to be able to defend it. They're going to be able to set up plays for you, especially when they have this MF Leona.
Well, at least you got a little bit of vision there, right? So it's still, you know that the jungler was there at that point.
75 gold to see the jungler for 5 seconds.
Well, you know the position, but yeah, like a win, I wouldn't really necessarily say, but we do see now the bot lane of P6 are looking to put some vision around this dragon because they have been really liking those dragons in this series so far.
Yeah, the argument that you'd have to make as to where you should put that, I mean, to me, it screams the river with the pixel bush, because the idea being that even if you don't spot Trundle on that ward, you can utilize a lack of vision as vision. Helicon.
Oh, there's the mid lane engagement, and bot lane is an engage as well, so we can see Hoberlord has to try and walk away from the Nunu. Snowball is going to connect, and the first blood goes over to Vermouth.
Super greedy from Hoberlord not to flash, and I'm actually surprised we're not going to see a wraparound into either a dive or a push for the dragon there. They've got the bot kill, they see Trundle walk up to topside through mid lane, and I think if Idcot dies here, it's a really big mistake because you know Trundle's up here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting sort of situation. Oh my.
Yeah, well, he's going in. He actually waited for the level 6, and it feels like Idcot just was a little bit greedy there, staying for so incredibly long, allowing the cannon to get level 6, and that is just a solo kill, and it just shows Sir Jonjo has been smashing this top lane in this series.
Sir Jonjo is back, baby, and he's showing what he can do in these good matchups, and the most worrying part is Idcot was able to pick counter. And he picked Cho'Gath into Kennen, which is not the greatest matchup because you're sitting there constantly getting harassed, constantly getting poked, and anytime you try to engage, the Kennen can just slide away from you.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation to sort of pilot as the Cho'Gath matchup because obviously you are playing the melee versus range matchup, but I feel as though could have tried to abuse his level 6 advantage a little bit harder when he did have it, but as soon as, Kennen's about to hit 6, you need to reset and just get yourself the HP back.
And had no mana as well, so it's really difficult to trade when you don't have those resources to be able to pull anything through. And as we spoke about, Trundle was topside, so it wouldn't have been the most optimal play because it could have went wrong there. But it feels like at the moment they've drafted themselves into multiple counters again. But this gank in the bot lane might get them something back.
Oh, the hook goes wide though. Ennen is going to get the pillar up to at least make it difficult for Vermouth to walk away, but that hook was just really unfortunate. It looks like Bacharian is looking for a counter gank, and this time Hoberlord respects it with the flash.
He knew. After last time, he was like, yeah, maybe I should flash it. I'll get out of this one. You can have that one, but that does mean they're going to move over towards this dragon and really just kind of start snowballing this lead that they're getting through their bot lane.
Yeah, and I think that it is important to get this bot lane lead, as we discussed it earlier, the importance of that bot lane situation. And I am currently unable to see anything. There we go. Sorry, had a little issue on my side, but I can now visualize the importance of this bot lane situation with a nice DS lead being gained here for the Misfortune. And except that though, look at what's happening here towards the mid lane, setting up that vision to make sure that they can at least somewhat contest this dragon. And we haven't really...
Yeah, so Jonjo might be looking for a potential fight. Idcot is staying up
He
quite far. He doesn't really care. Yeah, so Jonjo has the ultimate ready. There comes the Maelstrom, and it is going to be enough. He hits the auto attack on the turret, and the turret will be able to take him back. It's a 1-for-1.
I think if Sir Jonjo committed earlier around the bush and just sort of, if he knew a little bit better what his damage was, definitely could have got that kill without having to trade back. But a gank coming through into the mid lane now. But
it's just a train passing by.
But it's good because he's using, while there's a gap in pressure, Sir Jonjo's died as well as Idcot. Idcot died early, which means he can teleport in, and you save yourself that Herald and regain that vision control over that objective there for yourselves.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a nice sort of play over there from the news to just get himself a little bit better pathing, and also you have to consider the repathing for his own camps too, because he's got those top camps clear, so it gives him that opportunity to go to the blue, to the Gromp, to the Wolf, to the Raptors as they respawn, and it gives you just a nice clear setup to fix the pathing, and as such means that he's going to be now on the bot side on a decent timer to maybe look for a gank with his bot lane to punish that lack of flash on the Nautilus, and as well maybe transition that then into something like this dragon.
They're not even going to
Vermouth, yeah, already going to go in. The stun is there. The cleanse has not been used. Viking is really greedy on that one, but is going to stay alive for now. But Hoberlord is going to be the next one in trouble. The exhaust is too late. Harry Grandmother picks up that kill.
And it's even worse because it's not like Viking can stay to pick up this wave. Has to base, has to miss a wave, and they'll get the dragon off of it. A really good time play from there as they're about to push in. So it just makes them lose so much. And I think the only trade here for S11, he's got pushing mid, he's got pushing top. He needs to go for Herald here. Otherwise, you're getting nothing for this trade.
Yeah, it creates a really awkward situation, right? Because all that's going to end up happening is that the Nunu will do the dragon reset, go up towards the top side, and then you're going to be weaker anyway because of the potential situation that will be bleeding in the bot side. You're going to be losing even if you do end up getting yourself the Herald. So it is a difficult situation now for this Trundle not doing so, and instead going towards his bot camps, so greeding a bit more for his own CS score and not so much for the neutral objectives.
And I do like
a little bit rough for these for the Trundles so far now, but we'll see what he's going to be looking towards, because maybe he is going to try and make a play happen on towards this bot lane. Because what is it really that we want to see right now from both these junglers? Well, we do see Fujarian going once again for this mid lane gank. Actually, very, very deep. Is going to get the knockup, but wow, Obsessed Legacy not going to be able to find any follow-up. And Helicon going for an aggressive flash there. The calling is going to go wide, however, and they are completely split up. S11 is completely on his own, but Obsessed Legacy is forced to flash. And in a scrappy fight, they are all left alive.
I'm going to be honest, there are better ways to play that might have netted you a kill, but they do get pressure, they do trade out summoners, and it means that Helicon can now play this lane a bit more aggressively. While you think, oh, it's Nunu, he's going to get ganked, Lucian's pretty good at dodging these Nunu ganks. He ease out the way at a good angle, he makes it so that Nunu can't get that snowball onto him, and he can play into Obsessed Legacy, constantly duke out these skill shots, and look to build even more of an advantage here.
I think even more of an advantage is the keyword, because Helicon is already looking so good in this lane, even without that advantage being gained. He's got himself that nice, almost 30 CS lead. Yes, he's a bit low on mana at the moment, but once he resets, uses that teleport, he's going to have infinite pressure in this laning phase, and it means now that this Nunu is going to be forced to sort of hover to keep Obsessed Legacy fairly safe, which means that it opens up a window to look for aggressive plays elsewhere on the map.
We do see the teleport coming into the mid lane. I'm sorry, it's no way.
It's all. You know, I keep cutting off the floor. I'm being greedy. I want to talk too much. I keep forgetting about Boy Toki.
To be honest,
it's a work in progress.
It's fair enough though, because I feel like if there's anyone who should be talking during these times, it should be you. I just feel like, the second of silence, I just get that instance of like, oh, I need to talk right now. So, we'll get used to it. We'll let you have that a little bit more, Mr. Snowspy. But for now, we just see Vision being removed here by Hobo Lord and Viking on their own side of the jungle. But we might see a potential dive come into this top side of the map. So Jontra has kind of already set up a little bit of a stun. And Nitcold has no flash, has nowhere to go. The Maelstrom is going to absolutely destroy him. S11 picks that one up.
Just really clean dive from them. Good use of the pressure mid to move up towards top lane. But I feel like they need to get more here. Snowball this. Go for this Herald and then go for the first turret gold. Because right now, Lux and Nunu are pushing mid. Already getting damage. Already trying to trade plates. But we see this Trundle moving towards the mid lane. Not pushing the advantage that they've gained.
Yeah, this also could be an argument to be made about the knock-on effect of not taking that Herald earlier on. Imagine if AC and Dant did pick that one up. This could have been dropped here in the top side. Maybe you get yourself that first tower gold, then you don't have to worry about the importance as much of losing a first tower in that mid lane or in the bot lane later on.
We just waiting for each other.
Oh my god. Wait, you know what? I just want to clarify to our audience, we didn't plan this. This just sort of happened. So we're not used to this.
He came into our off-stream channel, said that he loves us both, and then just like, you were like, all right, try cast time. But
I was like, no, and you were like, yeah, we're doing it anyway. And you know what else is happening? Nunu Gag.
Yeah, Aizen is forced to flash over the walls. Now the support engage comes in. Viking is going to pop the ultimate to get away, included with the cleanse. But Harry Grandmother is doing a lot of damage in the backline. The bullet time is going to do a lot as well, but it's a little bit out of range. And Overlord once again is going to be the first one to fall. And it looks like Aizen is going to follow 2 kills for TGN so far. But Helicon might be looking to turn it around. But with Obsessed Legacy there is nowhere for him to go.
And that was, by God, the slowest cleanse that I have ever seen from a human being. Waited for the last half second to cleanse that one away. And oh my God, no, is this going to get more wild? Middlecot's just joined the channel. I don't know if he's here to do anything.
Oh my God, well, Helicon is trying to flash away, but Itcon is going to flash after it, and it looks like the next fight might be cast by Middlecot, question mark?
I don't even know what's going on here. All the casters in. Bring on the whole crew. Bring on the squad. It's getting wild.
This is just a celebration because we're getting to witness Sir Jonjo in action. How can we not all want to join, want to witness this royalty in action? I mean, it's a great opportunity for any sort of caster to come in, and I want to give credit where credit's due, though. You know, Viking did do an excellent job, realized the fact that his cleanse does exist, and managed to cast it in this time around. Yes, it was a little bit slow, but he's getting there. You know, he's getting there, and you know who else is getting there? Sir Jonjo.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to take it away, but I feel like there's no point.
Yep.
It was just absolute destruction there for Obsessed Legacy, and well, this dragon is open for the taking for Paragon 6.
It's more surprising because this should be third dragon at this point, with how much the bot lane was absolutely dominating from this TG Nocturne side. There's absolutely no reason they shouldn't have took those first two dragons uncontested.
Yeah, instead deciding not to utilize that, trying to greed much more for the CS, and you have to wonder how much of that is pathing based, how much of that is just general poor decision making to enable this dragon to be on the table. And luckily, it's not going to be too bad. There is that cloud dragon being spawned, but overall, you know, not an ideal situation for them to not pick up any dragons just yet.
It's your turn now.
I can go again. I'll go again. It's fine. It's fine. You know what? And anyway, we're going to see this transition now into a potential recall coming through here, but it is interrupted onto Sir Jonjo, and I feel as though with the current sort of game state, what would be your important values here, Toki, in terms of what this team should be doing?
Yeah, force him to talk.
Get in there, Toki. Get in there.
I was going to say, because I feel like, you know, in these kind of states, what I meant to say before is that it's fine for it to go back to Snow Spy until like a fight comes out and I can take it over, obviously.
It's
but
okay.
If we just want to do the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm happy to do that too.
I like hearing your voice.
I love
hearing my voice.
Sasaki.
We'll do the 1, 2, 3. We'll do the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 then. But
I love
you're revealing the caster tricks. You're saying our synergy just isn't that good. That we all just talk whenever.
No, I'm just saying this to make it easier for the viewers. But obviously our synergy is fantastic. We're trying some new things out. But right now we're once again seeing the Nayram happening. It seems like these teams like that a lot, just hovering around this mid lane and looking for a potential fight. And well, actually, the Chariot is going very deep into the enemy jungle, but he's going to find 3. He's going to be interrupted, and here comes Viking into the backline. That's going to be an easy kill on the Nunu. Well, I say that, but he runs away. But Itcod is now the next one being called out, and in the end, P6 pick up a kill.
And the sacrifice needed to be made. Carrion got out, but only at the cost of his Cho'Gath. Poor guy.
Yeah, unfortunately there, someone has to die, and it does mean that the top laner is going to go down. And it's nice to see the fact that Ascendant does recognize the fact that he now has a window and is going to be starting up that Herald, which, you know, we did discuss earlier, should have already been taken, but at the very least is now going to pick that one up, potentially could drop that one in the mid lane to break down that really important mid tower.
Yeah, and the mid turret has kind of been the name of the game for the last games, because honestly, they have been having a lot of trouble, both these teams, getting those mid lane turrets down. And you see, though, the side of TGN, they are so very, very close. And it is nice for the fact, for P6, that the fact that they have picked up this Herald now, so they can kind of counteract that possibly for themselves. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they are going to use it, as both these teams kind of even this time around. In the other games, Snowspy, we saw more of a lead for the side of Paragon 6, but this time around it's very even. You might have to say that could be troublesome for them.
If it's once again one of those situations, the better team that plays to their win conditions is going to win. I mean, you would think that always happens in pretty much every game, but you have some games where, you know, you can just play front to back, it can play super easy, but I feel like both these teams have to play it right. They both have to play around their specific cooldowns. For this red side, it is that Kennen ultimate. It needs to be absolutely huge mixed with that depth charge, whereas on the flip side, we need to see some big combos into that MF ult, into the final spark, and we see it there. There you are.
Yeah, it's honestly, that's like the opposite of cast the curse. It's like when you say it actually exactly happens. I mean, yeah, that was just very clean by the TG Nocturne.
Yeah, it's almost a cast of
here we
go. When all the ultimates all come together, and Sir Jonjo is looking to make it happen himself as Helicon is diving over the wall, grabs the shutdown onto Harry Grandmother, and will be picking up Obsessed Legacy on the backside. That one goes over to Viking.
And your real casting duo has come to take over. Get out of here, Snowspy. Get out of here, Toki. It's me and Middlecott. We're back. And you know what's most important? We got ourselves this middle pog, whatever. We got ourselves the mid tower did end up falling. And I just wanted to mention here, a little bit off topic for a second, is we didn't talk about it yet, but I think it's key to mention the fact that this red side composition in comparison to the blue side comp is really lacking in sort of range. Like when you look at the amount of what it can actually do, unless there is a key engage, it's very difficult for them to do anything because they don't have a whole lot of wave clear. They don't have a whole lot of ability to find anything in a state of neutral. Whereas the blue side composition, they can poke very effectively, utilizing that Lux E, utilizing the double up from the Misfortune. However, they can also look for more ranged-based engages using the Solar Flare. So I think this is a real game of distance that at the moment, this blue side composition is doing a great job of winning.
Yeah, they have to be careful here because you can see there comes the Q from Lux. Not going to find anything right now, but it looks like the side of Paragon 6 do not want to challenge this dragon. They are just going to give it over away to TGN.
And is no one going to mention the fact that I feel like we had a 4D casting experience. Like, as mid lane got ganked, we got ganked by middle cart. It was like, it was happening on 2 levels. I was like, oh, I'm watching a gank happen twice.
Yeah, I had to hard pivot because I know, you guys are already casting duos, so I assumed that, we are stealing that fight. Is that how we're doing this now? You guys get a fight, we get a fight, or what's happening? I'm very confused.
I know Middleka and I are going to alternate fights, that's for
okay.
sure. But right now we might see a possible fight around this Baron though, because it has been started off by TGN. Firmus is trying to remove some vision in the backline, but Overlord maybe looking to go in and look at Sir Jonjo in the backline. Here comes the Nunu train, and Overlord just barely manages to escape it for now, but there is a big split up. Sir Jonjo in the backline, this could be absolute huge. Here comes the slicing Maelstrom, but it is not huge enough. The bullet time is doing a lot of damage in the backline, but Vermouth is left on his own. 3 kills to Paragon 6. It's a double kill for the AD carry. Overlord does eventually get taken down, but the rest surely should get away. But Paragon 6 win out on the fights.
And Hobo Lord, fighting, going as if for his namesake, like those hobo fighters you see boxing under the underpass. He flashes over the wall, attempts to 1 versus 2 MF and Lux, and yeah, he cancelled a good few ultimates, saved the fight for his team, but it was just crazy to see. Really scrappy play, and that suits the comp of what's their name? Paragon. Because like I talked about, their range is so low, but when they're able to fight these sort of skirmish heavy fights, they're able to just constantly snowball against the enemy.
And the big factor to me when I looked at the way that fight was played out is look at the flank that came through from Sir Jonjo and the way it split the team up. It felt as though Hairy Grandmother forced a flash over the wall defensively. Obsessed Legacy has nowhere to go, trapped in the middle of a rock and a hard place, and as such, it created such fight lines that this blue side composition of Nocturne couldn't really do anything to fight back.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. And now, obviously, the Baron going over to Paragon. There's a lot of standing gold still left on the map for blue side. Outer towers still available. So we'll be looking to push forward, grab up some of that gold, and really start to find an advantage in this game, because neither team has really been able to do that as of yet.
I like the fact that we had barely just established the way in which we were going to do the rotation, and now no one has a clue what the rotation is again. It's gone. I'd also like to clarify that neither of your streams are working, so I can't see anything again. I am blind, so that's amazing. But don't worry, guys, because I'm going to be doing the Lee Sin cast now, and we will pretend like I have any idea what's happening. But Toki, take it away, because I can't see anything.
Okay, thank you very much. At least that makes it very obvious as to who is going to be talking next. But right now what we're seeing is Helicon and Sir Jonjo being sent over to those side lanes to put that split push pressure. It's exactly what we saw in the second game as well. And it's exactly what worked out for Paragon 6. And now that they have managed to get themselves a little bit of a lead, and of course that Baron buff, it's much easier to get those pushes going. As now S11 maybe looking to get a gank in the top lane.
They are just going to push down that turret. Trundle does so much damage, and Frucarian trying to fight this one, but he doesn't have the damage to be able to fight back that much. Only has that Thorn Mail, only has that little bit of tanky stats, and Sir Jonjo's just shredding him right now.
Yeah, the slicing Maelstrom has come out for Charian. He's trying to turn this round back, but he might be biting it off a little bit more than he can chew. Ascendant is going to pick that one up, so Jonjo is going to back off for now, as it's caught, not middle court, is walking up, but not going to find anything to salvage this play.
I don't know where this might turn the rotation. We're going to go with it. Anyway, it was a great play overall on the top side, but we have to look at the long-term ramifications here because look at the bot side. Helicon pushing down, gets himself one tower, and there's no one who's been able to answer him just yet. And look at the timer in the game. You see that the dragon is spawning in a minute's time. The entirety of this red side competition is going to reset. It means they'll be able to get established mid-priority before the dragon spawns, and it will mean that they'll have a good fighting position for this next Drake.
Yeah, but ultimately, if you are TGN, this isn't a Drake that you need to absolutely fight for. It wouldn't be the soul point for Paragon, and whilst it would get you to the soul point yourself, you're not really in a position where you can take a fight, because if you lose it, well, you start to see your inhibitors fall, and that's definitely going to put you at a strong disadvantage. So I maybe want to see the blue side back off a little bit. They've not really got the vision to contest this one, but they do look like they're going for it.
Yeah, Facharian is walking in quite deeply here for the vision, and in fact, it looks like Paragon 6 are just going to allow it. They might not have to, but they are just not confident enough that the team is on the same page. Of course, the Junjo is in the top lane. The teleport has just come up, so that could be something important into this next fight. And it looks like, yeah, Miracle, you said they didn't want to fight for it, but they might actually do so.
Yeah, we do see blue side positioning here. Teleport's going to be coming in from Sir Jonjo, coming down from the top side. Drake is down to 4,000 HP as Ender's going in. Does pop that subjugate as Vermouth is going on to him. The bullet time is big, but maybe not big enough as the Leona is falling right
Maelstrom?
at the Absolute Zero does absolutely nothing as the Maelstrom is massive. Diving on through. There goes Viking as the fight is going in favor of the red side.
Harry Grandmother.
Turn around by Hairy Grandmother. She's not picking up her pension today as Viking
That was so close.
triple kill to the misfortune. But ultimately, it's the red side that come out on top.
I'm sorry, there's something about hyping up the name Hairy Grandmother that just makes me lose my mind. Like, no, Hairy Grandmother! No,
That fight was so good that it spawned another caster. Hello there.
Oh
I
my God. It's coming out of nowhere. The Pentacast coming in.
Yes.
I mean, just to break that one down a little bit, you know, big brain boys coming out here, the squad in unison. If we can't analyze this well, then there's something wrong with us because there's so many people in here. But as pretty much Middlecop said, Absolute Zero not able to do any damage. Nunu's gone full tank, so it's only really used as a zoning tool for that extra slow. Hairy Grandmother not quite on the item spice they need, has that collector, but has gone Kraken into Bloodthirster. I feel like you need to slot an Infinity Edge in there to actually out the DPS in these fights that you need to make up for the fact that you haven't got anything other than burst coming from the Lux.
Yeah, but you're saying that against, you know, Viking right here, who is 6-0. He has the gold advantage. He has the item advantage as well, I see. And if he's gonna be the one to build something like, oh, I don't know, Infinity Edge, like you said, then Hairy Grandmother, I don't know how much he can do without, you know, just being bursted down and focused onto by Trundle, Lucian, everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of damage there. A lot of tank stats as well, so it's pretty hard to burst through them as well. Is that Cloud Soul point though? So we do need to remember that for TGN, as the Nunu is drifting through mid lane, ultimately isn't able to find anything. That is Death Charge burnt by Hobo Lord Gaming, but the cooldown on that is pretty low at this stage into the game, so not a massive advantage game for the blue side.
Yeah, overall just a sort of stalemate situation here, but we've already talked about the range advantage, and the blue side will be able to get priority due to that fact, and we're going to see Venomoth here trying to get a little bit of vision priority set up on that river, but we are still a couple of minutes away from that dragon, and as such I think it's time to sort of talk a little bit about these item spikes. However, nice binding does land, but nothing too exciting can be happening just yet.
And it from leading on from that, you know, you talk about those item spikes. We've got 3 items currently on Viking, matched by 3 items on Hairy Grandmother. So much damage going to be coming out from those 2 AD carries that it pretty much becomes a positioning game. Who can play to their strengths better? As we might see an engage come through soon as Sir Jonjo's looking for the flank.
Yeah, the flank might come out here. Obsessed Legacy is trying to throw out those Qs in order to maybe catch someone out, but it's not been working out too much so far. But now that this Baron, of course, is up, you can see these teams are grouping around. Once again, TGN are looking to get the vision control, but look at Sir Jonjo. You have to be careful.
Oh yes, you do right here, and I think as the engage is coming in from the Nunu, 3 people are going to get caught off, and Sir Jonjo is going to look for something, but the Trundle actually blocks the Snowball coming in from the Nunu, and Jojo is looking for it. The hook already gets on through, the Nautilus tries to get in, but the ultimate from the tiny rat there Almost kills. Yeah, there you go. Kaisa goes down. Lucian goes down. It's a 2-for-2 trade right here. But it looks like it's gonna keep going.
Yeah, as Idcott is trying to do damage on the backside of the fight, the cannon will finally be taken down, and Hairy Grandmother has managed to pick themselves up a triple kill. Ace and Dan will be able to walk this one away, but the team fights keep going back and forth, summoning that pillar in the mid lane, and this could just be the inhibitor going in favor of TGN.
And as every man knows, there's nothing more scary than a hairy grandmother when you got a gun with him. Because hairy grandmother is dishing out damage, gets himself now 9-2 on this one, a triple kill in the last fight, and it's really just solid positioning overall, just dealing the right damage onto the right targets. And you can imagine that once she starts to get a couple more items, gets that Infinity Edge, gets that Lord Dominic's Regard, is really going to start to shred through this front line here that has been picked up for Paragon.
What's super important from this Paragon side now is to use the tempo advantage they have. Bases have to come out from MF and Lux. They've just got their inhibitor tower, and Leona's in the top side, so push through onto this dragon, get that vision and set yourselves up.
Yeah, that is exactly what they're doing right now, but Leona's split pushing is not necessarily what you would expect to see when it comes to making sure those waves are going to die fast, so it will be Paragon 6 who will be able to set up for this dragon first. The hook just barely going wide. Ace and is looking for a possible engage, and, well, Overlord is really walking closely towards that wall to go for it, but so far, this fight could break out anytime soon.
Yeah, but the Drake is already solo HP. It's getting taken out by the red side. It's a 4v5 right now. Vermouth actually coming in. The first kill already goes on. The Nunu gets killed. That's a lot of damage. In from Hairy Grandmother. That's the double kill. That's the triple kill. And I think that's the game.
Yeah, the triple kill for Hairy Grandmother, picking up those pension checks of these as IDCOT teleports into the base to push through this wave of super minions. The Trundle is the last champion left alive, but he won't be for much longer as Grandmother is flashing forward onto his face. Will be taking down these Nexus towers and grabbing the 2-1 victory for TGN.
Yeah, Nexus. Oh.
I was just going to say, on that note, sorry, Recollect, stealing that one away from you, but just because me and Toki were the originals, we know the narrative. There goes the playoff dreams for the side of Paragon. They have no chance now. They are eliminated from playoffs. And for the side of TG, it looks likely that they're going to be that third team heading into playoffs.
And it's really unfortunate to see, because I feel like Paragon 6 really showed in this particular series that they were able to actually win these matches. They were definitely able to possibly get themselves a place in the playoffs, but the consistency was just not there. It was only one game, but unfortunately, in the best of three, one game is not enough.
Yeah, but you have to look at the bright side, right? Both teams played this incredibly well. You have to say GG's to both of them. ADCs especially definitely were the MVPs of this match. But you have to look at the Nunu, you have to look at the jungles. Everyone did such a good job, and you can't take that away from them.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Valence League it's just all about having fun. It's about competing, and I know that I would rather lose a close 2-1 than have a 2-0 victory that wasn't particularly interesting. So whilst it's going to hurt that they're not able to progress on to the playoffs, they can exit knowing that they've done themselves proud.
Yeah, and I know that obviously we haven't all been able to watch all of the games throughout here, so I'll just ask you guys, just for this final game, we'll run it down because we do have a decent amount of casters here that can give us but we've got a panel of 5, shall we say. Who for each of you would be your MVP? For the first 2 of you guys, obviously your series MVP, and for the rest of you guys, just for this game.
If we're looking, I feel like what might be better is if we start with you 3, you can tell us the game MVP, and then me and Toki can give a rundown of the series after. So Atro, if you take it away.
I'll say from what I've seen, I've come in last, but the one that left the most of an impression to me was definitely Hairy Grandmother. You know, he spiked up so hard with that Misfortune ultimate there at both of the team fights. He definitely did most of the damage in the whole game, and I think he was definitely the MVP for the blue side this time.
Yeah, I think to echo that, in a similar vein, I think Viking actually had a very good performance as well. Obviously, we didn't see it in the last 2 fights as they went very in favor of TGM, but had a solid performance on the Kai'Sa, a number of occasions diving into the backline, getting assassinations off. And I think all you gentlemen have forgotten that we've actually got an interview coming up fairly soon.
Oh no. I'll be quick.
You know, once again, as Snowstorm already said, with 5 casters, we got 5 questions each. Not 5 questions, sorry.
Oh,
One
no.
question is my lord. Sorry, Edcott, that would have probably just made you fall asleep. But in the end, speaking of the MVP, of course, I mean, Edcott had a pretty good series. But for me, honestly, over the whole series, so Spy, it still has to be Harry Grandmother. I feel like in the wins, Harry Grandmother was just a very, very important asset and was just incredibly good in those team fights.
Played it super well in those team fights, was able to put out a lot of damage. And I think let's not waste anybody's time any further. Let's get this interview away, straight up get them in there. And, you know... Oh no, I just saw Middlecot's message.
Hello, Idcott. How are you doing?
Hello, Idcott.
Hello,
Welcome
Idcott.
to
Hello,
the Caster
Idcott.
channel.
Hello.
You're one of us now.
Yes.
For 255
welcome to the
Pentagon.
Pentagon.
Leave you breathless.
All right, I went first, so I will take it away. I'll get straight into the questions. I ain't going to stall out. I'm going to head straight here. Buddy, you played 2 games of Ornn and 1 game of Cho'Gath. How are you not asleep right now?
Classic top lane things.
Nice.
It's,
I mean,
it's
that is straight up a
something
good
we-
answer.
It's something we established with the team as general. Our jungler likes to play for mid and bot, so I play as a backbone of team, make sure top lane doesn't lose too much, and keep one lane busy all the time.
Yeah, but
And what-
you had.
Oh,
Excuse
sorry.
me. sorry.
That's fine. No, I thought we were going into this good order, but okay.
Yeah.
I'll-
You can go.
I'll take it away, but honestly, a good series from you guys, but a bit scrappy. The last series was, of course, much cleaner. Do you guys feel like Paragon 6 really showed up against you guys, or that you guys were just not at your best today?
Paragon is definitely a worthy opponent. I'm not going to wind any blankets around it. They gave us a run for our money the second game. First game, we were like both feeling each other out as a team. We had them on the bans. They actually had a couple of good bans of ours. First game, we just played our casual team play, and then second game, they punished us for it. So, as the 1-2-1, the nail biter, we switched things up a bit in the last game, and it helped on the victory.
Yeah. So, in that last game, obviously, it was a big sort of team fight composition that you drafted together. You've obviously got a lot of CC provided to yourselves with the Leona, the Cho'Gath, and Nunu, and then Obsessed Legacy and Hairy Grandmother doing a lot of damage. Do you feel like these sorts of compositions are what you're best at, or do you think you've got a few more tools in your arsenal, let's say, in terms of drafting that you could surprise people when we get into the playoffs?
Team fighting is definitely one of our stronger compositions, but we do also have like 1 or 2 other compositions that we can draft in our back pocket if needed.
I was about to steal Tokisaki's spotlight beforehand because, you were playing the top side this past, 3 games, and from what I've heard, you played the Ornn as well, but you were fighting against Junjo, right? One of the biggest names in here. How did you cope with that? How did you go up to your team and be like, hey, Junjo's missing, be careful? Or, kind of when you were thinking up of drafting, did you have, specific OTPs in mind that you had to look out for, like Junjo, Viking?
Definitely, we scout. Well, our jungler, I must give him props where props is due. He scouted every single team for us, and he gave us the potential bans, and then we saw okay, a comfortable on Jinx, Ari OTP. So we just trusted him to give us the right bans, and he pulled through with it. Definitely, we were looking at the other games for the what they played, and then we saw Nara and Cannon. They were banned in other games as well, and top lane wasn't doing too hot. Personally, I'm not that scared of a Nara, but Cannon is a different beast in team fights. So all the bans are due to our jungler.
Yeah, so to me, the biggest talking point I have now, after obviously this series is now over, is the fact that you guys are pretty close to being now confirmed for playoffs, right? I think there's, barring 1 or 2 odd situations, you're pretty much guaranteed now. So, is there any teams you're watching out for going into the playoffs format, or are you pretty confident that you can smash everyone?
There definitely are some teams that will be scary, but we're confident. We have faith and trust in each other, so I think we will, even against like the strongest teams in the league, we will be able to stand a good chance. So I don't think we should be too scared of anyone.
Well, I think that might be it for the interview, and I think that might also be it for us here. It was a great series, first of all. Thank you so much, Itcot, of course, for joining us for the interview. Really appreciate it. And, of course, once again, congratulations on the win. This was definitely a very interesting game and cast, but as I started it, I might as well do the honors and end the stream as well. I want to thank everyone so much for watching, and we hope to see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I have crippling